What is up the world of the living? My name is Zloyxp and look who we got here! A maximum level toolsmith who sells an unbreaking tool. Hey look, who we got here! A maximum level toolsmith who sells an unbreaking tool. Hey, look who we got here! A maximum level toolsmith who sells an unbreaking tool. I had to flush so many toolsmiths to get these frees. I had to scroll through so many villagers to get them. I had to level up so many blacksmiths just on the fluke chance that they will have the unbreaking free enchant on their final trade. Friends, to put this into perspective, I am now a proud owner of 3 stacks of bells. Welcome to Truly Bedrock. So, villagers, eh? Love them or hate them? Okay, please do love them. They're great and they are good boys and they deserve to be loved. But they are a great provider of materials you don't have to actually gather. For example, if these guys bother to actually wake up and come to walk in, let me look at the sun, just a couple of moments, then I will be able to get 6 unbreaking free pickaxes from them. As easy as doing like a couple of clicks. Like, I mean, just look at him, look at him, look at these morons. Just boop, 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 boop. And you get the point. I don't actually have enough emeralds to do that. But this here, in several seconds, is the equivalent of 9 diamonds and also, at the very least, let's see, 3 by 2 by 3, 12 pieces of lapis. And that's not counting all of, and that's if you get all of the necessary enchants at once. Actually, no, these are, yeah, these are equivalent of 9 pieces of lapis. I apologize, I'm silly. If I enchanted with efficiency 5, that I also got from other villagers, that's when they will be actually valuable. But anyway, yeah, here we go. Go into the pile. We got unbreaking, silk touch, unbreaking. Restocking the shop in which I sell these will be now incredibly easy. So we got a bit with the villagers blacksmiths. I feel what, 6 pickaxes per day is pretty alright, especially since if I need more I can just like wait for the next day and they will renew their trades. Then we have like 5 or 6 librarians who will sell me mending in here, so that's great, and we get enough mending to enchant all of those pickaxes, plus we get enough mending to maybe even restock the shop a bit. Plus we got an efficiency 5 guy and a fortune 3 person, so those are delightful. And yeah, what next? Well, my friends, I'm glad you asked. Oh wait, you didn't, I did. I'm glad I asked. I have plans, I have ideas. This situation with diamonds basically being generated out of thin air using basically emeralds that are entirely free for us because we can just grab them from silent, actually opened my eyes to the idea of generating more resources using villagers. So, what type of resource a lot of builders would love to use, but constantly hate to gather? Well, I know one particular one, but you ain't gonna like it. Okay, you are gonna like it, but it's actually incredibly inconvenient. Friends, we have a bunch of stonemasons. All of them have variants of quartz as their final bit. It costs 1 emerald per pillar quartz, 1 emerald per block. But think about it. What is an emerald, my friend? It's free. Again, emeralds are free entirely if we just use silence raid farm. So I can easily create emeralds not only from grabbing silence farm, but also from just selling them stone. Ta-da! This is half a pickaxe here, by the way, basically. So, and on the other hand, we also can generate bricks, just like that. See? 20 blocks! They didn't have to go mine for clay, didn't have to swim in a swamp, didn't have to do anything. And more impressively, we have like, what, 5 or 6 of the ones that just sell 1 single quartz block as their final trade. Meaning that we can actually set up a conveyor line of these. The problem now is, of course, that they actually lock up after 5 blocks of quartz. I experimented, 5 blocks of quartz, they lock up for the day, meaning that I need as many of those as possible. And I was thinking like, yeah, that's alright, that's gonna be a lot of bricks for one, so that's great. And quartz, it's expensive, but it's nice. At the very least, you don't have to go and mine for it. Until I then realized that the nearest mining mesa is thousands of blocks away. The tunnel to the mining mesa that goes over in the nether is extremely long. And that's in the nether where everything is divided by 8. But these guys, they have stained clay as one of their trades. And so came to be Project Pocket Mesa. My friends, today I was hoping to hunt down stonesmiths that sell not only quartz blocks but also different colored terracotta and assemble them into a production line that would allow me to create unlimited clay out of basically nothing. And that, my friends, is absolutely great. Okay, first we need to set up them a place to live in, and we need to basically separate the ones that sell proper quartz from the ones that sell only quartz pillars. Obviously quartz pillars are really nice to have, but we can make them out of regular quartz pretty easily using the stone cutter, and obviously we don't have a shortage of those. Now, okay, some of the quartz block people are already renamed, so that will be easy, but there's a little bit of a problem. There's a little bit of a problem that silentwisperer actually gave me a solution for. You see, in a general sense, villagers, and yeah, content warning, this is gonna involve me wasting a lot of iron, so if you don't like me using resources on stupid stuff, you might want to avert your eyes for a bit. But yeah, first and foremost, we need to separate them into minecarts, of all things. Why minecarts? Well, silentwisperer opened my eyes to this thing. There is a bug currently, which is not a bug, rather than a quirk, and it's really frustrating is my point, where villagers basically assign themselves a new workstation at random, meaning that if you have a trading hall in which villagers can more or less move back and forth, they will actually glitch out and not want to return to their own station. So for example, if this guy lives right next to this one, he might sometimes just assign himself a workstation across the town and steal it from another guy. And that will be frustrating because we want all of them to constantly be in the same spot. So how do we solve this? Well, turns out, if you get a villager in a minecart, I said, if you get a villager... Mr. Quartz Block, can you, like, get into the... There we go. If you get a villager in a minecart, maybe even on a rail, that's absolutely allowed. And in front of him, there's his beautiful, beautiful workstation, then he will just randomly assign himself to it, and even use it and freely constantly restock, easily. And if you even have a bed like this, as proven by my blacksmiths down there, he will even sleep in it, just at night, like a normal person. So this here essentially is how one syncs up villagers to their workstations in Bedrock. It might take quite a bit of effort, but because I will have to remove all of the rest of the workstations. But this guy, yes, so did you see it? He already synced up. So basically, if we exhaust any of his trades right now, he will actually then restock as come tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hunt down the rest of the quartz block dynasty. This is a pillar. This is a pillar. This is a pillar. And after I'm done, I'm gonna create a little miniature trading hall like I did with my blacksmith for my stonemasons. And I will be really happy with it because all of these guys will restock and function perfectly, and I will be able to basically form quartz out of literally thin air. I love you guys, you're so exploity, it's just amazing. And yes, I know that beds are actually entirely inconsequential, they don't need to be able to reach them, but I'm just leaving them in because they look like this when they try to sleep. Look at them. It's like he's wearing an entire bed as a hat. It's amazing. So, as far as I can tell, there's only one or two. Okay, there's only two final trades for the stonemasons, and it's either quartz or quartz pillar. So the distribution of stonemasons should be basically 1-to-1. 1 out of 2. And the real distribution of them naturally is not such. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stonemasons who have quartz blocks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, wait, 5 stonemasons who have stone pillar, and that's because I already killed 5. I killed 5 quartz pillar masons because I didn't want them, and I only later realized that I can still use them for brick generation and for, you know, terracotta generation. So let's see. Other than that, we got lime terracotta, we got magneta terracotta, we got blue terracotta, we got another blue terracotta, and we got this person who is black terracotta. And finally we got light gray terracotta. So one of the two blue terracotta guys will sadly have to fight to death. Because I really don't need 2 blue terracotta villagers. Especially not when both of them trade the same quartz pillar, which I don't need to begin with. You guys just gonna lay still, not gonna fight to death. Alright. I guess I'll have to fight you to death myself. Santa Lucia, Santa... Let's see. I sussed out approximately where I want them, but the problem is that we need 16 types of villagers. Well, not 16 types, 16 villagers. All of them stonemasons. Because there's 16 colors in the amount... Yeah, in the game. There's 16 colors of clay. Meaning that we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Kind of hitting the wall. Kind of this section is too big. We dig any lefter, any righter. Ta-da! I mean, there is a little bit of a hill here. But not much, so not much to work with. We can maybe continue the wall of villagers to this side by digging them into the side of a mountain. Which is fine. I mean, it's a compromise. I feel I will be going for this, but at the same time, not my favorite solution. Yeah, something like that. Then there's gonna be a bed in there, and yeah, a giant trident hole. But that will be like 5, and we are left with 11 more, which we don't even have. Okay, so quite a bit of villager breeding is in order. But more importantly, the way I want these villages to be is I want their little sections, the bits that they are sectioned out into, to be something like this, where on top of their heads there will be the type of quartz that they trade, so a block of quartz for him, and let's see, a magenta terracotta on top of that. So on top of their heads, I want to signify, I don't have a magenta one, but basically I want to create, pretend that this is quartz, alright? I don't have any emeralds right now. But on top of their heads, I want to have this and, okay, maybe not this, and this. To kind of hint at what type of materials they trade. Which really, these two are the only ones that matter, the rest are kind of garbo. And also, I just wanted to quickly note that I plan on using these stonemasons as my secondary way of getting a lot of emeralds at once. Because they trade stone, meaning that anytime I have been in a mine, I will have a lot of it because I have a silk-touch pickaxe on me. So, yeah, that's kind of a quick way of getting this stuff and then this stuff, and boop, ta-da! Everything installed and everything in place. However, there is a little bit of a problem, and that is that I want them to be fairly open, and that means that baby zombies can easily get to them. And we obviously do not want that. So, I think it's about time I finally closed in this area of the base, closed it away from everywhere else, and maybe even put a door over here. Because, I mean, what is this? A door for giants? Seriously, Zloy, you're 2 blocks high. Lower your ego, buddy. Golem buddy, you're not helping. You're actually quite heavy. Can you please get out of boat? Okay, good news. The stuff is looking up. The villagers keep breeding for whatever reason, but I'm not bothered. It will sort itself out as soon as I put up enough beds and enough villagers. So, good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Halfway there. Half of the colors cleaned out. Bad news. I also cleaned out all of the duplicates for the clay. Obviously, I did not clear out all the duplicates who sold quartz blocks, but I didn't have any duplicates anyway. So we have 5 people who sell quartz, and currently 3 people who sell quartz pillars and unique colors of clay. The problem comes in when you realize that because I cleared out the quartz pillar duplicates, we are left with like 4 villagers, and only one of them is stonemason, and he's the blue terracotta one. He's also a duplicate. I will have to remove him. Well, I will not have to remove him, but I would like to remove him. So currently we are waiting on some more babyroids to pop up, to grow up, to get influenced. So yeah, babyroids is a scientific term, by the way. It's yeah, that's what we call baby villagers in the Minecraft circles. Totally a real thing. Do not look it up. Anyway, my point is, I think I will be blocking off all of these guys, probably with some trapdoors like I did with these people, because trapdoors did not stop them from syncing up to these beautiful workstations. Meanwhile, they do stop baby zombies. So I think if I'm just grab a bunch of trapdoors and place them something like a habloy, hablan, habish, badin, tadan, and yeah, that gotta do it. That gotta make it more or less safe for the villagers. Now I just need to kind of AFK and wait for the base to grow up, which means that I get to take a quick trip downwards, and since my Silk Touch peak is mostly repaired using the villager traits as experience source, which I love doing, I decided that it's once again time to just go down here and mine out some stone for future trading. I mean, I gotta be doing something anyway, right? And why not dig out the tunnel? But I'm basically done, guys. Look, by this point, to dig out new strip mines, I need to go all the way over here, right? Which is a bit far away, and even then, like, okay, this is approximately where my strip mines end, and where I can start digging again. Which is great, and it's fine, it's just one firework rocket, but at the same time, instead of doing that, I would much rather work on something more productive. I don't want to just go ahead and try to dig out more diamonds for my diamond shop. I feel it would be best to kind of help myself out with this entire strip mining operation. And I still want to strip mine out the entire server, guys, don't get me wrong. The entire non-resettable at the very least. But what I also do want is I want to do that comfortably. So I'm declaring a secondary project. I'm making an executive decision, guys. In this episode, on top of the villager trading hall with all the colors of the clay, I want another very ambitious project. I want to create a proper transportation tunnel for myself, in which I should be able to basically have a giant train, like not a train station, but a train tunnel that would allow me to easily travel all the way to the spot where I last left off. And I don't want to just put it together, guys. I want to also maybe perhaps decorate the walls of it. But sadly, to decorate the walls, I first need to dig out the space for said walls. So here I am. Oh, no, nope. Yeah, dying in the lava, amongst many other things. But mostly punching at sides of the tunnel, at ceiling of the tunnel, at bottom of the tunnel. Yeah, there's a lot of digging going on is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I've been thinking about the entire concept of a train station. Specifically in the mine shaft, it would be really useful to have a proper train with, like, you know, several carts attached one into another. But here's the problem. Whenever in Minecraft you have a situation like this one, and you have like minecarts and minecarts and minecarts and that kind of stuff, and you place all of them, and let's imagine that these are also storage minecarts, and that's why I have them. That's why I need so many, because they're like all full. And then you knock them over, and see see what happens. They collide into one another, and it just becomes a giant mess. It's just an awful giant mess, which is incredibly frustrating when you want to try to have an actual train with several carts running one after another. Heck, there is actually a way to get a proper train going in Minecraft, turns out. And that's to kind of bypass the minecarts hitting into one another and reacting to one another physically, by just not having them hit one another. By just having them follow one another, one after the other. And look, they even just, yeah, they freeze up. They just stop at the end. And that's really cool. That's pretty friggin' awesome. Here's the problem though. You can only really do that if you dispense minecarts onto the track one after another as we specified. And there's a couple of ways to do that. One, for example, is to legitimately just dispense them. But then, before sending them off, I won't be able to properly open their inventory if they are storage minecarts, because they will be already driving away. So they will be out of range by the time I get them. Another problem is that, okay, we can probably have a vertical situation where several of them are dropped using the pistons down one after another, and that will be also an option, but the problem will be that I will have to kind of rig the rails and either place them on top of the piston every single time over and over, and that might be a bit of a problem. But then, and that's something I remembered that there used to be a design actually that would allow me to have storage minecarts sitting one after another without actually interacting with it much. And that design would be something amongst these lines, and you just place it onto this deactivated rail. That way, if you have this design repeated several times and then activated, as far as I remember, guys, this being Java Minecraft 1.5 is the last time I saw this. So I might be absolutely mistaken, but let's see. What happens if we do this? See? They depart, and they depart in a sequence. Easily. And then the design I used to, I remember seeing, also functioned in a very peculiar manner, where every time the minecarts would arrive back on the station, they also would freeze up and kind of get dropped on here. So it was a really smart thing. Let's think about it again. Let's imagine that there's no activation, or let's imagine that the rail is activated even though it isn't. So what if we have this, and then suddenly a block appears here, and the whole thing is activated? See? The minecart does not depart, meaning that by placing here blocks, and we can do that using sticky pistons. We can automatically do that. We can prevent minecarts from escaping. And then, upon the flicker of a lever, the pistons remove the blocks simultaneously, like at the same time, so none of this garbage happens that just happened. And minecarts do not collide, and we get a proper train departing from the station and going away. And I feel that would be really beautiful and really fun to have. The question really only remains, how do we rig it? And also, why would we have it here? Because this is a receiving station. This is a departing station. We need this type of station at this next spot where we will be loading the minecarts in. But you know what? Let's figure out the receiving station, and then we'll worry about the rest. We already have some powered rails. We just need some detector ones, if I remember the design correctly. And trust me, I do not. And I don't even remember how to make the detector rails, to be completely honest with you. Oh look, there is a stone pressure plate. Good thing I can craft a bunch of those. Okay. Bear with me. Boink. Boink. Okay, there's the third one. And boink. And then I get into the last one, and I don't even suffocate on a block. And okay, let's say flick deliver. Actually, you know, for full-on capacity, let's just put some materials in there to kind of, to signify what we are trying to do here. To just like, to not just pretend that we're terrible and great. Okay, and now we jump in. Because we still, like, again, something you need to consider is that minecarts just randomly stop when they are into unloaded chunks. So we do need to be in the train ourselves for this train to be loaded and to keep driving. So, boop, and it walked, and woo! Look at that! We departed! We are a train! We even arrived as a train! And the minecarts didn't change direction upon hitting other minecarts. That's impressive! That's great. And also hello Lyarrah. Oh, that's so cool. And now I'm just sitting here incredibly interested in what is gonna happen if we send all of these minecarts now the other way. Okay, you go. And now you go. No, go all the way. You stupid minecarts. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. I didn't take into account how to get back. I know that this is an activator rail for a reason. Crying out loud, Zloy. Okay, I figured it out. We connect the activator rail to the line of the respecting piston, right? And that way, whenever a minecart arrives, it activates the activator rail and it powers the piston, and piston shuts it down from going anywhere. And that way these little stations work. The only problem with that is that we still need to add a tiny, I'm sorry, I have a hiccups, like honestly. This entire half of episode, I have hiccups for half of the video, and also for half of the video, I'm pretty sure you can hear my cat snore behind me. But anyway, let's try this. Go! Go, 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 go. And it stopped. Of course it did. Come on, dude, seriously! Okay, brick, brick, brick. What was that? What? Minecraft! Bedrock! Darling, honey! What is wrong with you? What is this? Why? What? What's happening here? Okay, you know what? Something tells me that we need, like, to rise it by 1 block. Like this. That way, maybe, it will not get knocked over. Yeah, see? But that way it also gets stuck. Okay, look, I experimented. The one that is at the very end will end up glitched. Or might end up glitched. Come here. But the other ones, surprisingly, and like, I mean it, genuinely surprisingly, worked perfectly fine. Look, this one, yeah, it's a little bit confused, but it's there. This one isn't even confused. It works perfectly great. So right now, we created an arriving station. We successfully created it. All we gotta do now is figure out how to make it so that I can also depart from it some freaking how. And we'll be golden. And all it takes is basically a lever that will override these signals. Meaning that we just have to connect these signals to a double negative of a torch. Okay, second test, or I don't know, whatever test at this point. Yeah, that. Please stop. There we go. The worst part is that it actually works perfect if it just comes in. Like, if it just comes in from here. Look. It works every time, which is surprising because nothing on Bedrock works every time. But then, if you just place it down there, It just messes itself up. But, however, this time I want to actually enjoy my... What was that? I guess this is it. This is so as far as I'm willing to go for this test right now. We obviously... The worst part, guys, is that because the train set is really hard to set up unless you already have this entire thing, I will have to set up another station like that on that side, except mirrored. And the problem is that you can't have several train stations like that. Although maybe you can. No, you can't. This one is directional. There are non-directional ones, but this one is. So I will have to, at wherever I want to go, I will have to set up a second set of this station. And also I know what you're thinking, guys. Why am I doing this right now? Why am I doing this right now if shulker boxes exist? If you can carry as many shulker boxes as you want in your inventory? The answer is because I like minecarts, guys. And I'm still not used to doing shulker boxes. So let's see. Does this disable all of the torches? It do! Look at that! We can just enjoy the ride! All of them are moving at the same speed. So they are at the same momentum, which is actually 0 because they're not momentuming. They have a set speed at which they are traveling. But because they're traveling at the same time, at the same speed, they will not hit one another. Which means that they will not randomly change directions, which means that we can just continue this track for however long we want, and our train will not be interrupted. Please go back. And you please go back. And you please go back. So I'm afraid that, yeah, the main quest of today's video will not be accomplished. You see these guys? They're unemployed. You see these things? All of them, well, most of them are free. All of the guys in the catacombs already have their own stone cutters, so these people should be connecting to these stone cutters. But they are not, and there is a bug in the game when they just randomly stop doing that. So I'll let them simmer for now. Eventually the server will restart, and that will kick these villagers into realizing that they have actual workbenches to work with. In the meantime, guess what? The secondary project that wasn't even a project to begin with actually followed through and worked out pretty good. So I'm taking this spare, what's his face? Pillar Quartz blue terracotta person that we don't need down there into the mines, because wow, you really don't want to ride the roller coaster, do you? Let me grab the boat, buddy. You're going down there. You're going down there. Get into the go into the hole. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Yay! There we go. Are you still alive? Okay, cool. Get in the boat. Boat. You can get directly into the minecart if you want, but unless you are gonna go into the minecart, get in the boat. Okay. Can I? Oh my god, it works. I can have just a random mason villager with me. Sadly, he will be rapid, like, if he would not just randomly disconnect from a, like, if he would have a stone cutter at the spot of me walking, this would actually be kind of useful. Seeing how he trades like stone for emeralds, and I have a lot of stone, obviously, here, down here in the mines. No, get back here, you prick! Get back! How are you doing this? How did you figure it out? I don't know. I have no idea how he escaped. Like, for some reason he just glitched through the... I think he just overridden the minecarts its own AI, or I might have nudged him accidentally. But let's give this a try. By the way, check this out. Yeah, this is what the station looks like right now. I'm gonna expand this wall. I'm gonna move this wall back, expand the platform, and like make it so that you actually board it, and it's gonna be really, really nice. But right now, you just press the button and you go, and it works, and I'm so happy about it. You cannot, you wouldn't believe it. All right, this is great. This is useful. I will have to continue the trailway on my own all the way back to the current spot where I'm excavating. Till then, you'll go. No, look, and it works more or less perfectly back too. There is a little bit of a problem here where you can still kind of nudge it if you are too close on the block with him. And yeah, this guy specifically is a butt to walk with because his AI overrides the minecart. So this is not perfect for mob transportation, but it is great for player transportation and the storage chests too. So I call this as an absolute win. And alas, we will have to do something about the villagers in the up here because they are being butts and don't want to sync up with their respective workspaces. Actually, now I'm pretty sure while testing that thing, I must have unloaded chunks. So let's just give it another go. And nope, all of these idiots are still unemployed. That's disappointing to say the least. I was hoping to complete my 16ery of the terracotta, but apparently it's just not gonna happen. And I spent so much time waiting for the children to grow. Oh well, at least we got six everybody! Quartz traders, and 2 of them are the same terracotta color, but that doesn't matter because I want more quartz trader. If people are trading me quartz, I want them in, regardless of what color of the terracotta they prefer. And this will eventually transform, obviously, into a factory of quartz that I will be exploiting for my own pleasure to distribute over in the shopping district. This is all just a preamble to the grand opening of something I like to call and keep in mind as the Ursa Major, because we have the Ursa Minor, which is like mining equipment, and we will have Ursa Major, which will be basically a lot of blocks that you can buy and sell. But that's such a long-winged plans. For now, I'm just happy to have my own source of quartz, and that's, I'm pretty sure, is gonna already pay off largely as soon as I find someone who wants to buy quartz. For now, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. This has been Zloyxp. This has been truly Bedrock. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye. Subscribe, leave a like, all that kind of stuff. And recently I started adding fan art of you people, well, by you people, in the beginning of my videos. So if you want your fan art of like my stuff or True Bedrock in general to be featured over here, tweet it at me or share it with me with my Tumblr. My Tumblr is AskZloyXp. My Twitter is @Zloyxp. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye.